Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. If you're here with us, it means you or maybe someone you care about is likely navigating the incredibly frustrating world of polycystic ovary syndrome or PCOS. And today, our goal is actually really simple. We're going to look at the data and the real science to completely validate your experience and, more importantly, empower you with actual actionable answers. Right. So we really need to start here because I would bet almost anything that you have heard this exact wildly frustrating phrase from a doctor. You go in, you absolutely know something is wrong with your body, and after years of searching for help, you're basically sent home with a pat on the back and zero direction because your tests look kind of normal. It's just incredibly invalidating. And honestly, when you look at the big picture, that kind of dismissal is just unacceptable. This affects roughly 1 in 10 women. 10%. So to put that into perspective, if you are struggling with this, you are absolutely 100% not alone. This is a massive, very real condition affecting millions. Because we know the reality of living with it is just tough. These confusing, exhausting symptoms, they are not in your head. They are very real daily challenges. You're dealing with irregular periods, stubborn weight that literally won't budge no matter what you try, acne, unwanted hair, or even the heartbreak of thinning hair. And then you add in the intense cravings, the zero energy, the fertility worries. It is just a heavy burden to carry when you don't have the right map. But here is the major aha moment. There's this massive underlying factor that so much content and, frankly, a lot of doctors just completely skip over. And that missing piece is insulin. If you've been treating all those symptoms individually without looking at insulin, well, you've essentially been fighting an uphill battle this whole time. And what's truly staggering is the sheer number of women this applies to. For anywhere from 65 to 80% of women with PCOS, insulin resistance is literally sitting at the very center of it all. It's the root engine driving the whole chaotic process. I mean, that is a huge majority. So let's break down what this actually means for your body. Insulin resistance basically happens when your cells just stop responding well to insulin. They aren't listening. So your body kind of panics and pumps out even more insulin to overcompensate. And here's the domino effect. Those rising insulin levels directly nudge your ovaries to produce more androgens, which are male-type hormones. And boom, those excess androgens are exactly what trigger your visible symptoms, the acne, the hair growth, the irregular cycles. But hey, this is actually incredibly good news. Because understanding this insulin connection, it's a total game changer. It gives you a direct, super powerful way to take control. You don't have to just sit back and accept the symptoms anymore. You finally have a lever you can pull. So how do we actually pull that lever? It's all about keeping your blood sugar steady. First up, eating balanced, lower GI meals that don't cause those massive sugar roller coasters. Second, practicing protein pairing. Basically, never eat a carbohydrate completely naked. Always pair it with a protein to slow down your digestion. And third, just weaving some gentle movement into your day to help sensitize your cells to insulin again. But here's the catch with making these lifestyle changes. You can't manage what you can't see, right? If you have no idea how your body is reacting day to day, you won't know if the changes you're making are actually moving the needle on your insulin or your symptoms. So there's a massive mindset shift we need to make here. We're talking about moving from the total frustration of just guessing to the real empowerment of tracking. Guessing means you're just relying on memory, getting totally thrown off by random symptom spikes, and waiting around for your next annual checkup for answers. Tracking, on the other hand, means you're seeing actual patterns. You're linking your daily habits straight to your symptoms and getting much, much faster answers. So what should we be looking at? Well, by simply logging a few daily metrics, things like your cycle, your specific symptoms, your blood sugar levels, and your energy, you start to connect the dots. Like magic, patterns just start appearing. You'll suddenly notice exactly which foods spike your cravings at 3 p.m. and which habits actually calm your symptoms down. And then, it's not just about your daily feelings, it's about hard data over time. When you track specific labs, testosterone, LH, FSH, AMH, plus fasting insulin and HbA1c, you totally transform your relationship with your healthcare provider. You're walking into that office with real, hard data instead of guesses. You're informed. And for sure, that leads to way better, faster medical answers. Now, to make pulling all of this together incredibly easy, because let's face it, it can sound like a lot, there is a remarkably calm, complete system designed specifically for this exact purpose. It's the printable PCOS balance and symptom tracker, and it takes all that overwhelming data and just organizes it beautifully. And unlike those generic health apps out there, this tracker is tailored for what you actually need with PCOS. It's got your daily symptom and cycle log, and crucially, this is huge, an insulin and blood sugar log that almost all other trackers just skip. It also has a dedicated labs tracker, a pattern finder to help you literally connect those dots, and a doctor visit summary so you know exactly what to say at your next appointment. Of course, I do have to mention, actually, it's super important to remember that this is a self-management tool, right? It's absolutely not medical advice or a diagnosis. You definitely always want to work closely with your doctor. But having this tool, it will undoubtedly empower those conversations and make them so much more productive. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought today. Living with PCOS does not have to be some lifelong guessing game where you just feel completely out of control. Tracking turns all of that confusion into a clear, actionable plan. So the real question is, are you ready to finally stop guessing and uncover your body's true story?